we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time, ratified is down. Here in double O2. We'll go at it again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening. In the tournament since 2000.
Welcome, CDL fans, to our April 8th edition of CDL Live. And for those that didn't know, yes, yesterday was the trade deadline in the Car Demolition League. And that being said, some teams got busy. Well, quite a few teams got busy. As a matter of fact, got the list of all the teams here that were making moves. Quite a few moves have been made. So that being said, got a lot to run through in this intro. So if you're just looking for the crashing to happen, you might want to skip ahead a couple of minutes. Don't know how long this is going to take me, but also got D-League scores to go through. But Atlanta making some moves. They were trading a little bit with Indianapolis and even with Phoenix. Matt, guys, there's two teams, Atlanta and Phoenix. He owns them both, and the moves made here. Atlanta traded Mini Truck to Phoenix for Bentley. Now, both those cars were on their development league squad, Oakland. What happened from there? Atlanta pulled up Black Marinello from the Oakland squad and dropped the car called Dem Pizza Rolls, custom built car that you might have been seeing in highlights for the Atlanta Avengers. Well, then what happened was Atlanta traded Supra and Bentley to the Indianapolis Reapers in exchange for Green Enzo and Dark Knight. So, basically put Supra, made it to the Indianapolis squad. Bentley went to Indianapolis's minor league squad, Richmond. Or actually, as a matter of fact, he ended up later on getting dropped in the free agency. Bentley did, as a matter of fact. But that being said, Dark Knight is going to be on the Atlanta Pro roster along with Black Marinello, and Green Enzo actually is going to be on the Oakland roster as of now. So, but yeah, later on, Indianapolis did make a move. They dropped Bentley to free agency and they signed Cobra from free agency. Yeah, kind of like Cobra. Anyways, but carrying on here, other moves that happened. Big trade between New Mexico and Chicago. New Mexico traded Synchro and their D-Leaguer Dragon to the Chicago Wind Attack for Monkey Ball and Pioneer from the Wind Attack. So, two pro roster cars for Chicago going to New Mexico, but then Chicago is getting a defensive monster in Synchro. He's just been struggling this year. You gotta wonder, though, new surroundings can get him going again, possibly. And plus, some good teammates to be with in Highlight and R on that Chicago squad. So that's pretty much what happened there. So what did New Mexico do? They kept Futurama, Governor 2, and X-Wing on the pro squad and added Monkey Ball to it. Pioneer is now going to be playing for New Mexico's farm team, Calgary, the Stallions. That being said, Chicago Wind Attack going with R, Highlight, Synchro, three of their cars, and to fill out the roster, pulling up a D-Leaguer, Blue Dragon, and Toronto actually sending Dragon, former Calgary Stallion, instead of putting him on the pro roster, sending him down to the Toronto Canadiens. So that's how that one works out. And Blue Dragon has some pro experience. Should add that in. Used to play for the Buffalo Warriors at one time, kind of back in the day. But then we move on along, a little simple trade here, but a big one. The Denver Mustangs trade Teardrop to San Diego in exchange for 24 hours. So Purple Custo's jersey number, quote-unquote jersey number. I put that there in case any fans might be interested in maybe trying to replicate a team's jersey or something like that, you know. I do that for that sake. I don't mind, folks, if you do it. Really don't. feel free. If you want to do it for fun or whatever. Support the CDL in that way, you know. Besides, I don't trust myself with a sewing machine. But Purple Cusso now becoming number 42 on that team. So, but yeah. Then we had some more moves going on. Jacksonville traded Gray Ghost from their Little Rock squad and their 2017 second-round draft pick to Dayton in exchange for one of Dayton's D-Leaguers, 76. So, that being said, kind of a big trade there to a point. Even though it's between D-Leaguers, because what ended up happening is that Jacksonville actually put 76 on their pro roster. What they ended up doing was they sent RDO6 Jr. down to Little Rock, and they pulled up 76 from the Little Rock Razors. So that whole little thing happened there, and Cincinnati, or not Cincinnati, Dayton, getting a draft pick out of the deal as well. Moving on along. Tampa Bay making a move, but development league moves. They dropped Leonardo from Mexico City to free agency, and they signed Enzo too from free agency to be on the D-League squad. Pretty much the rest of these are simply, for the most part, D-League. At the very least, they are D-League related. Some pro impacts, but not much. Boston, they dropped Blue Bat from their Richmond roster to free agency. They signed Cherry Bomb to be on their development league squad. Part of their two-man development league roster, along with Indies as well. And I mentioned theirs with Bentley. They sent him down, and they pulled up Cobra. St. Louis Twisters, keeping it Central Division, I suppose. St. Louis Twisters sending down Diablo 1 to the Kansas City Indians and pulling up Iridium from KC. And Iridium been pretty decent defensively, so St. Louis maybe looking to add some more D to their lineup. Of course, Iridium, a rookie. Wondering how he'll perform in the pros, if he'll be as good as the D-League. New York Empire making moves within their development league organization. Of course, they and Nashville both share the Memphis clause, and Knuckles from Memphis sent down to free agency, and they sign Jordan LeBron. Yes, it's a red card with the number 23 on it. Just made sense for some reason. Anyhow, only one more to go through. The Miami Mafia sending Buzzsaw from their pro roster down to the Orlando Rage, and they pull up Mach 6 from the Rage to be on their pro roster with the Miami Mafia. Like I said, folks, long intro, already 7 minutes in past that. And we still got D-League scores to go through, so making this quick, Anaheim upsetting OKC, 15-10 final score. Oakland over Cincinnati in overtime, 2015 final. Vancouver defeats Mexico City, 15-10. Utah and Winnipeg ending their game in a tie. Kansas City and Calgary ending their game in a tie. Pioneer helping on that Calgary side a little bit. And Diablo 1, not too bad for KC. But needless to say, Edmonton defeats Little Rock, 15-5. Memphis beating Alaska, 20-15 in overtime. Baltimore taking a loss to Rochester, 20-15 in OT. Rochester finally getting themselves back in the win column. Kind of been a little while for them. Orlando taking a loss to Richmond, as a matter of fact. There's another Eastern Division battle there, and Richmond getting the win 15-10. And then, big rivalry matchup, Toronto beating Montreal 15-10 on this April 8th Development League game day. Syracuse, whole new roster for Syracuse. I got into it with the last game day. They got a bunch of Gregory Fox's former pros, and What Jr., Yellow Custom, Inferno, and Wheelin' Dealin' all sent down to the Syracuse Scorpions after the April 4th game day. They got a little bit of rest. They had a bye today, but they will be in action on the April 11th game day. As a matter of fact, they will be on the road against the Toronto Canadiens. Should be interesting to say the least. That being said, we got pro games to go on here today. And the first one should be a fun one to watch, no doubt about it. Tim Geyser versus Brandon, two very good team owners, and both sending one of their teams each to go head-to-head here. As a matter of fact, one of these teams, first place in the league, the Philadelphia Demons, That would be the first place team in the league. Coming this game day, the only team in the league at the 50-point mark on the road against the Tampa Bay Gators, who are, have been struggling, but the whole Southeast Division has been struggling for that matter. So with the win today, Tampa Bay could possibly find themselves tied with Washington if the Patriots lose in the main event here today against the Gowanda Outlaws. Things, you see what we did there. And then our mid-feature, Los Angeles Blades and the Houston Oilers. Should be a fun one to watch there. So that being said, let's get down the field for that first game. Gators and Demons. And here we are, folks, down on the field for this April 8th edition of CDL Live. And, hey, the trade deadline has been reached. No more trades from here on out, but we certainly had a flood of them right before the deadline hit. Actually, not too long ago, Tampa Bay was one of these teams getting 48 hours from San Jose in exchange for Phantom. Brandon making those moves on his squad, and a lot of that happening, especially D-League rosters, teams trying to find the right guy through free agency and then in trades, some very big-name trades. Synchro is now a member of the Chicago Wind Attack, New Mexico, really changing their whole philosophy from being this defense-minded team to being more offensive-minded. In Chicago, they've been good defensively all year, but now phasing more into a total defensive scheme by getting Synchro, and not to mention the trade between Denver and San Diego with 24 hours going to Denver, Teardrop going to San Diego. So some big trades happening right before the deadline. I'm pretty sure I informed you on all of it, but that being said, the Philadelphia Demons, no changes made to their roster right before the deadline. Tim, guys are keeping them exactly as they are. And why not? They are currently the first place team in the Car Demolition League, the only team at the 50-point mark at this moment in the season. 50 points right on point at this point in the season, for that matter. So that being said, 50 points. They have a huge lead on second place Dayton in the East. As a matter of fact, Dayton only with 38 points, so 12 points behind Philadelphia. That's 4 games, folks. So quite a sizable lead for the Demons at this point in the season. But if I remember right, they are actually coming off of, oh no, that was a little while back, but they had a rare loss, a little stumble against New Jersey. They countered that by getting a win and then yet another one, I believe. So, but all that behind them, they do have an impressive record coming into this game. Which is 16 wins, 2 regulation losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. Definitely Demon dominance reigning over the 2016 season as it has in years past. Definitely Demons one of the most dominant franchises in CDL history. That being said, they take on the up-and-coming Tampa Bay Gators, defending Eastern Conference champions, but this year has been a different story. It looks like the past few seasons they took like 3 steps forward, and now it looks like they're kind of taking a step back in 2016. 8 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie, and 3 overtime losses is Tampa Bay's record. Coming into this game day here today with a total of 29 points, and they sit 12th place in the, or not 12th, 13th rather, in the Eastern Conference. They are actually tied with Cleveland for 12th. But that being said, they are only 3 points back of the Washington Patriots. And the Patriots, we're going to see in our main event today, as a matter of fact, they'll be home against the Gowanda Outlaws. So by no means it's an easy venture for them. So we could have a tied first place spot in the Southeast Division, which really for any of these Southeast Division teams, you got to be thinking, we still got a shot. Even for Atlanta, I mean, Washington has been inconsistent as of late, and every other team in the division has. In Atlanta, definitely a team that made quite a few moves before the trade deadline. Understandably so, with a record of 3-13-1-2. But that being said, we're ready for action between these two teams. Philadelphia Demons, Tampa Bay Gators. That being said, let's get a look at the lineups. set to go, folks. The first two cars out there, Silver Molina for the Philadelphia Demons, and Battle coming off a strong game for the Tampa Bay Gators. Both these cars having strong games in their last outing. Both of them talented defensively, and it's an even battle to start things off. And we almost had a flip there, no interference. Silver Molina able to ride the wave, stay up somehow. They continue to collide, and this time Battle staying up. He'll be back on the home side of the field. No interference there. Just going back to his own side, ready to do more battle with Silver Molina. And this time Battle taken down. So, we got a 5-0 game. Silver Molina getting that first flip. Philly in the lead brings out Ratified. And that time, it was there was contact, just barely any. And we are actually going to add more grease as they will switch slides here. And Silver Molina, a car that has had trouble with simple things like rolling. But nonetheless, he did have a pile of grease on him to start the game, as a matter of fact. As did Ratified. Just going to add a little bit more on him. Mainly his wheels and underside there. So, wiping off the hands here. As that we can. Clean our own grease off our hands. This way, somewhat get a better grip. And Ratified and Silver Molina will be set to go at it yet again here. So here we go. And this time, a grazing shot. Both cars still up. And neither of these cars really able to hit clean. You gotta wonder, it's gonna happen eventually. These cars will hit clean. And this time they do, and Silver Molina has a good flip. 10-0 Philly in the lead. And now it's down to the defense of the Gators, and that is the 2015 MVP, 47 Ronan out there, and able to get a flip. Almost an interference there, but there is none. Silver Molina down, and the Gators are still alive in this thing. Now we'll bring out Pink Indy for Philadelphia here. He's got some grease on his sides, and we are going to try to take care of that right quick. And the problem is, grease can roll up onto the sides of a car and make the car slicker to get a grip on when you roll it. When you grab from the sides. But most cars, that is what's done. So as they get ready to go, the first time in, yeah, we are going to get fresh grease on the bottom of Pink Indy. These cars were greased before the game, and it's just incredible just how much grease will absorb into the bottom of vehicles at certain times. Just have a tough time with it at certain points. Yes, you can see what I am doing here. Very rarely have we actually taken the time to actually grease the field. Cars kind of do that on their own. Some advice from Tim Geiser, as a matter of fact, at one point in time, and actually taking it here. It's been a while since, because all these games are pre-recorded, and it has been a while since teams have hit the field here in the Car Demolition League. So, could be part of the reason some of the grease that was on the cars gone a little stale. By the field, it's gone a little stale as far as getting good grip. But it appears we are going to be ready to go here. And yes, Pink Indy and 47 Roman. Two really good defensive cars out there now. Both cars climb, both staying up. The matchup will continue. And again, both cars staying up, getting some decent grip. Just got to find a good grip point on Pink Indy, and this time Pink Indy is down. So we are tied at 10, close to an interference there. So, with the game now tied at 10, Tampa Bay trying to make the comeback happen. Green Demon, the rookie out there for Philadelphia. Now we got two cars that should have no problem rolling, good wheels. Everything going on with them, and yes, they are going to keep their own sides of the field here. Two great defensive cars. Green Demon has stepped up all year and has earned the captain spot on the Philadelphia Demons. And this time around, able to stay up there, switching sides even, and almost had the flip on 47. Was able to hang on. Some good collisions happening now between these two. From the opposite sides of the fields here. Good defense on both sides, and that time a clip shot, Green Demon able to survive. Good spin maneuvers as he tries to stay stable and goes rolling, and yet again, Green Demon up to the task defensively. So we got the MVP out there, which is 47 Ronan against a car that has his name in the hat for Rookie of the Year in 2016. So they go head to head, and this time Green Demon down, and Tampa Bay on the verge of a huge upset here. 15-10, Gators in the lead, and the rookie Hawkeye now out there for the Demons. As 47 Ronan looks for the 4-0 perfect Captain's Day. And almost had it right there. Hawkeye able to stay up, but it is an interference in the process. And Hawkeye's been pretty good defensively from the 5-point gainer spot this season. And this time he goes flying, and he is down. The Tampa Bay Gators have a huge comeback win. 15-10 the final score. If you could believe it, my goodness, what a game. And you really kind of had the bad feeling for Tampa Bay, like it's another one of these games when Silver Molina came out and started at 2-0. Definitely a great day for Silver Molina, a 2-1 day, no shame in that, but a 4-0 day for 47 Ronan, the Thorn, and Tim Geiser's side yet again. He was getting it done in that conference finals against Tim Geiser's Hartford Homies. Does it here today against the Demons. Final score 15-10. Demons taking the loss. They go to 16-3-0-2. Nothing to shake a stick at, needless to say. Nothing to shake a stick at. But some teams had the opportunity to kind of close the gap on them a little bit. Nashville, of course, has a bye today. But, hey, Los Angeles and San Francisco, they'll both be in action. That being said, though, looking at what's ahead for both these squads, Philadelphia Demons going to be home against the Houston Oilers, a pretty strong, tough team that's in a Southern Division title hunt. As for the Tampa Bay Gators, they will also be home on that April 11th game day, home against the Denver Mustangs. So be interesting, because Tampa Bay had a tough time with San Diego earlier this season, which was captained by 24 Hours, and now they take on a Denver team who will more than likely either be captained by 24 Hours, or you got to wonder maybe Red Dead might have that spot now. But nonetheless, some options there on that Denver side now. That could be an even tougher team than what it was before. No doubt about it. So that being said, we are about to move on with our game day. We got a bunch of highlights coming up as we get back to action here in the Card Demolition League after all this trade deadline stuff. So about to really get back into action. Speaking of the Denver Mustangs, they're going to be in the first highlight that you see, as a matter of fact. Home against the Minnesota Maniacs, a little Central Division showdown that's going to be taking place. But when we come back to live action, somewhat live action, folks, but live as you can get to where we will show the full feature game, it'll be our mid-feature, the Los Angeles Blades, looking to take first place in the Western Conference. They have an opportunity to do so with Nashville on the bye today. LA on the road against Houston, coming up on CDL Live after the highlights. Stay tuned, folks. Alright, we already had a long intro of me talking, so that being said, before we get to the Blades-Oilers game, folks, the highlights. First set of highlights here. Only two teams with a bye here today, Nashville and Detroit. So we start off this highlight reel with the Minnesota Maniacs and the Denver Mustangs Central Division Showdown. We see Green 7 out here getting the flip real quick on Purple Custo, which would bring out 24 Hours for the Denver Mustangs. New addition to the team, fresh before the trade deadline. Trade took place, but 24 Hours getting the flip right there on Green 7, and now we'll take on Red Racer. So pretty good start for his debut in Denver, but Red Racer trying to steal the show. Good defensive move right there, able to barrel roll his way back up. The fight would continue between these two, and match up right here comes to an end. 24 Hours going down. Red Racer now out there against Red Detta. So a 1-in-1 day for 24 Hours, but now more importantly the game on the line, and Red Detta trying to keep his Mustangs alive, and right there he certainly did. He tied the game up. Red Racer was down off screen, so that would bring out Black Spinebuster for the Minnesota Maniacs. Game tied at 10. Both these cars going at it in this divisional matchup. Two teams that know each other well, and Black Spinebuster able to get the flip on Red Detta there, but quickly it would be tied up by Blue 512, and folks, we were heading into overtime. Blue 512 out there for the Denver Mustangs, and Diablo 2 out there for the Minnesota Maniacs. So here we are in OT, a good solid collision right there, but the battle did not last very long, as we are about to see third collision right there. Diablo 2 getting the flip and the win for the Minnesota Maniacs. Final score 20-15 in overtime. So we move to the Eastern Conference. New Jersey Bandits, Atlanta Avengers, with Black Marinello leading the way for him, making his 2016 pro debut after getting pulled up from the D-League, and has a 5-0 lead right now out there against Kid Custom. Good little fight, but Kid Custom taken down by Black Marinello, and the former D-Leaguer is 2-0 to start 2016 in the pros, but now takes on Power Pistons. But still, Black Marinello, tough customer to beat. Look at this, dual barrel roll, able to stay up, but Power Pistons in the end going to have his way here and get the flip, as we'll see right here. The timing's a little off, but now Clown comes in right on time and right on a dime. Bam! Flip right there, Power Pistons down, and the Atlanta Avengers a surprising win. Calling an upset, if you will, but they defeat the New Jersey Bandits 15-5, the final score. So keeping it in the East now, Hartford Homies, Miami Mafia, and we see Neon here going to be able to get a flip after just a few collisions against Redemption, but revenge was to be served cold by 46 Jr. Look at this in slow motion. 46 Jr., a heavyweight smash mouth card. That's how you just get a devastating hit. Gets the flip there too. Now takes on Monkey from the Miami side, and both cards will be down, so we're tied at 10. Indy 5 out there for Hartford now against the rookie Aqua Chevelle, and these two would have a pretty decent fight. Some good defense by Aqua Chevelle, able to stay up on the first try here, yet again on the second try, but the third try is a charm for Indy 5. Getting the 15-10 lead now out there against Mach 6 from the Miami side, and Mach 6, his efforts all to be in vain. He's down off screen there, and that would end the game. Final score 15-10. The Hartford Homies getting a big win over the Miami Mafia. Now don't blink, folks, as we head back to the West. This one actually went pretty quick. Dirty Snow out there against Sweet 16, quickly making it a 5-0 game, and that would bring out RPG. He would tie things up at 5. But then Teardrop, making his debut as a member of the San Diego Lightning, traded for with 24 hours between San Diego and Denver. Quickly, say I can't even get a word out. He takes down RPG, and not long afterwards takes down Motorblade Jr. and the Denver Mustangs, getting the job done. Final score 15-5. A great day for Teardrop here in his debut, going 2-0, and just like I said, some great stuff being shown by Teardrop in his debut with the San Diego Lightning. Moving on with another Central Division showdown, Idaho Cowboys, St. Louis Twisters, Iridium making his pro debut, former Kansas City Indians in the D-League out there against RDO2 here, and a good little matchup between the two, and it's going to come to an end in a tie. Both cars down. It was a 5-5 game. MX Drakester now out there, and he will be taken down by Silver Indy, giving St. Louis a 10-5 lead. So now Governor out there for the Idaho Cowboys, looking to keep them alive in the game, and did right there. Not by getting a tie, but by staying up. Look at this breakdance move by Governor, able to roll his way back up and stay in the fight, and the battle would continue between him and Silver Indy a little bit longer. Some great defense being shown, and then this time Governor getting the flip, and now looking to put the game away against Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze able to stay up there and keeping the fight, but not for long. 15-10 the score, so now Rowdy looking to force overtime. And right here, almost getting a good flip, but again, Governor able to stay up, keeping in the fight here. Rowdy applying the pressure and gets the flip on Governor, forcing overtime, where it would be Rowdy against 42nd from the Idaho side. Both teams in overtime here, both going at it, both looking for that big divisional win, but it is going to be 42nd getting the job done in the end. 20-15 the final score. A great game, and the Idaho Cowboys are the winners of it. So we move on now to a Central Division showdown. Cleveland Wolves, Milwaukee Mob, and pay attention to Junk in the Trunk. And the quickness right here, able to take down Hot Tub Jr. 5-0. Now out there against Monty Jr. And Monty Jr. after a couple of collisions suffers the same fate. 10-0, and now out there against the defense. Oh my goodness, Cartman down that quick. Yes, an unusual day for him. Just to go down that quick, I mean, just unbelievable stuff by Junk in the Trunk. Great offense by the custom-built car. Getting the job done. Serves donuts for dinner. An easy walk to the bakery. 15-0 final. Wolves getting the win. Moving to the West, where it was the Lumberjacks looking to get the upset against the Gladiators, but Elite was going to make it difficult for them, getting the flip right away there on Buzz-Off, and that would bring out Mantis. I had to think of his name right quick, but needless to say, Mantis put up a good fight against Buzz-Off, no doubt about it, as we see some good defensive maneuvering right here. Able to stay up was Elite, and then not only that, but follow that up with a flip right there, and all of a sudden it was 10-0. So Elite going for the shutout against Dark Dragon from the Seattle side. The defensive rookie definitely has had some moments of brilliance this season, not a doubt about it, as you see him going to work here, able to stay up a couple of times and just scathing off all forms of elimination. Yet again, another sweet move, and you see here a beautiful one, and this one we do have in slow motion, and why not? Just beautiful stuff. I mean, I put him in a K-pop video, able to stay alive. It's like a dance move almost. I mean, gymnasts of the Olympics, eat your heart out. I said Olympics again, but anyways, Dark Dragon would eventually go down. Elite able to get the shutout. Don't sue me, Olympic Committee. I'm a fan, actually, believe it or not. But 15-0 the final score. Put CDL in the Olympics. Do it. 3-0 day for Elite. Getting the shot out, like I said. Seattle Lumberjacks, hopes of an upset, just smashed and ripped apart. Going to a Central Division matchup, Chicago Wind Attack and the Indianapolis Reapers. Both teams making some moves before the trade deadline, but a familiar face making an impact right away are getting the flip on the rookie Phoenix right off the bat. And then out there against Blue Indy, both cars were down, so a 10-5 game, a 1-0-1 day for Arb. So now his teammate Blue Dragon against Gold Z28. And that's right, that's one of the new cars that Chicago has brought up from the development league here. Blue Dragon sending Gold Z28 off screen and then getting the flip right afterwards as I stumble over my words. See who's on point. Blue Dragon's on point. Former D-Leaguer and former pro before D-Leaguer. He's been up and down, but I mean, good way to welcome himself back to the pros. 15-5 the final score. Great teamwork. Blue Dragon going 1-0 with the game winner. 15-5. Wind Attack getting the win over the Reapers. Alright, back from that, and got that first set of highlights. And the Blades have a chance, with Nashville having a bye now, take first place in the Western Conference. They can do so with a win. Blades and Oilers coming up. Let's get down to the field. Well, folks, you saw the first highlights, and we're back on the field now for our next game here on this April 8th edition of CDL Live. And two teams that, who knows, by the end of the season, they might be playing each other in the first round of the playoffs if things went their way. As for the Houston Oilers, currently just trying to get into the playoffs, sitting 13th place with 32 points. The Oilers' record coming into this April 8th game day, not making any moves before the trade deadline. They were looking to, but no transactions to be had. 8 wins, 7 losses, 3 ties, 2 overtime losses. Now a team, their opponent here, the Los Angeles Blades, Alex Johnson not wanting to change a single thing, even with Puerto Rico, his other pro team, but no changes for the Blades either. And why? 14 wins, 14 wins, 3 losses, no ties, 2 overtime losses, 44 points on the season, and with a win in this game, because Nashville is on a bye. As a matter of fact, with Chicago's win, they moved ahead of Nashville for first place in the league temporarily. Of course, all depends on what the Blades are able to do here. The Blades, with the win today, can take first place in the Western Conference. So big game for LA, no doubt about it. And they've got a team that has stepped up in big situations. Proof in the pudding, back-to-back Crash Bowl champions, and they are the defending champions out here on the field right now. So Blades on the road against the Oilers. Should be a fun game to watch. That being said, LA with 44 points, currently second in the conference, but as I said, with the chance to take first right here. Let's get a look at the lineups. Blades and Oilers.
I love LA. Big Sad, California, yes, still applies to me. Everybody got something to say. I'll take names off, I'll take things off, I'll take chains off, I'll take rings off, I'll play switches, yeah, fake game off, anything off, fool what you want, we stay feeling fools, fool what you want, your life for your juice.
Well, both teams have their front runner on the field ready to go, and just to think, Houston only 6 points back. That's just 2 games back of the Phoenix Firebirds for first place in the Southern Division. That's how close things are. Far Future leads the way for the Blades. White Ferrari leads the way for the Oilers. Game on. White Ferrari kind of the heavyweight here as he takes on Far Future. Far Future, of course, more into the defensive realm of things. Not able to get any offensive opportunities here in the early going, though, as both cars continue to go at it in a scoreless game. And this time, Far Future, good defensive move right there, and that's what you expect out of them, and yet again, but some good offensive opportunities for the Oilers here in the early going without LA threatening very much. Of course, Far Future, you gotta think just him being out there is a threat, as is with any of the Blades players when you take a look at their roster. But nonetheless, White Ferrari handling himself very well, staying stable, almost gets another flip yet again. This time does have a flip, Far Future down. So the score, 5-0, Oilers in the lead, and it brings out Pink Indy Jr. for the LA Blades. So he has some offensive ability and some defense, able to stay up there, no interference. Both cars staying on their own sides, going at it yet again. And again, both cars staying up. And White Ferrari's just on point today, and he's getting his chances here against Pink Indy Jr., but Pink Indy Jr., how good is he that good? Able to ride out the waves, get the game tie and flip, all even at 5 here, which now brings out nickel and diamond for the Oilers. Offensive-minded car has a flip there. Just at the right spot, that right connection, able to get the flip. Houston with the lead again. Score 10-5. And that will bring out Greelina, known for his defensive skills out here against Nickel and Diamond. Both cars stumbling, fumbling their way back up, switching sides, and Nickel and Diamond is down. So the Blades quick to tie it back up yet again. 10-10 the score, and now it's a defensive battle. Weight advantage has to be towards Greelina here as he gets set to take on Racer X. Good lightweight defensive car from the Houston side. And these two go at it. Greelina and Racer X, and my goodness, good chances for both cars right now. And that time, almost a flip, but Greelina staying up, gonna keep the visitors side of the field. And this time, an interference will save Racer X. So both cars on the verge of being flipped here in this game as they continue to go at it here. Game tied at 10. Racer X and Greelina putting on a show here. And my goodness, good survival technique by Racer X yet again here in the live game for you. Did you ask for anything more? Unbelievable stuff by both cars, and Racer X has to play a little defense, and he has the flip right there. Greelina down. So the score now, 15-10, Houston in the lead. And now looking to put it away, but Cove Light out there for the LA Blades, one of the best 5-point gainers in the CDL. Trying to force overtime, and he takes home side of the field. Could be right where he wants to be on that home side. Cove Light getting it right away, and he's keeping it right now. And this time almost had a flip, but what moves by Racer X, able to scave that one off. And this time not able to scave off that one. Unbelievable stuff. Cove Light able to get the flip there. And now goes head-to-head with Hot Wheel Bet. We are heading into overtime here. Tied at 15. This is what we would consider overtime. Both front lines have been depleted. and it's just the 5-point gainers out there that do their work. Hot Wheel Bet trying to get the win here, as is Coblight. Coblight going for 2-0 in the win. And Hot Wheel Bet, more of a smash mouth offense. Carr almost had the flip there. Coblight too good defensively, and this time almost goes down yet again, but Coblight on the home side of the field. What moves by Coblight? And folks, that is why you can safely say he is one of the best 5-point gainers in the league. And that's exactly why. A 2-0 day for Coblight, and the Blades hanging on to get the win. Something to come back, really, to get the win, as a matter of fact. Behind the whole game, it was 5-0 Houston. It was tied. 10-5 Houston, tied. 15-10 Houston, tied. And the Blades able to come out and get the job done in OT. They just find ways to win, and with that win, they do take first place in the Western Conference. And that puts them up to 47 points. And when we take a look at the overall scheme, with the Demons losing in their game earlier to Tampa Bay, LA just 3 points now behind the Philadelphia Demons for first place in the Car Demolition League, the whole league itself. So, but taking the top spot in the Western Conference, that's a feel-good moment for the Blades right there. It has to be for Alex Johnson, I would certainly say, as we move on along. Into the second highlight reel we are about to go, where we will see San Francisco on the road against a new-looking New Mexico Monster squad. Going to be interesting to see them without Synchro in the picture. Going with more of a little offensive approach by adding Monkey Ball to the lineup, making that trade with Chicago like they did. But, yeah, that's all coming up in the highlight reel, and then it's going to be followed up by our main event. And I tell you what, hard act to follow right here. But nonetheless, should be an entertaining game, though, folks. Gowanda Outlaws on the road against the Washington Patriots. It's in our main event. We take a look ahead for both these teams. Houston goes to 8-7-3-3. Now, they do get a point from this loss, be it that it's an overtime loss, so they are now up to 33 points. So Houston's next game, though, again, another tough one here. They just had to play the Blades. Their next game, they will be on the road to take on the Philadelphia Demons. The Houston Oilers will be. As for the Los Angeles Blades, their next game, they'll head into it with a record of 15-3-0-2, and they will be on the road as well. And they'll be going head-to-head with the Green Bay Dragons. A little cross-conference game day on that April 11th game day, to the point where no team has a bye, and it's all West on the road against the Eastern team. So, yeah, LA heading to Green Bay, Houston heading on along to Philly. And I think I mentioned that earlier when Philly played Tampa Bay, but nonetheless, into the second highlight reel, and then we'll hit up our main event, Gowanda and Washington. So stay tuned, folks, to CDL Live. Well, folks, we have a change of lead in the West, don't we, folks? Overtime game. Well, the Blades certainly wasn't easy for them to get it, but they did get it in OT. How good is Coblight? 2-0 day for him over the Houston Oilers. 2015 final there. That being said, folks, moving along. Got to move on along. I got to learn how to talk. Going to the second set of highlights. So some other great games happening on this April 8th game day. Let's take a look. So we start off the second half of our highlights with the Boston Vandals and the Carolina Wildcats, and it was Blue Dragon 2 making an impact right away, taking down Mellow 51, a car heavier than him by a little bit, and this move was beautiful. Blue Dragon 2 getting the flip on Dragon Jr., and how close to an interference does he have to come? But he gets the flip there, able to stay up in the process too, and now takes on Wen, the number 2 overall pick of this past draft, the rookie, showing his defensive talent right there. But in the end, to no avail. Blue Dragon 2 on point today. That aerodynamic offense, that's what the CDL was basically really built off of in the late 90s, early 2000s. Getting it done, taking it back to the roots of the game itself. 15-0 score. Boston serves donuts for dinner. Moving on with the Northern Division showdown between the Pittsburgh Destroyers and the Green Bay Dragons, and the rookie Inquisitor getting it in here today out there against WA-17. A couple of collisions in is all it would take. WA-17 down 5-0 Green Bay. Enter Blue BMW. All this former Syracuse Scorpions team trying to stop Inquisitor. Not going to happen right there. And now out there against Zebra, and sets him right back down there. Inquisitor on point today. An easy trip to the bakery and all the way back to Grandma's house where he laid the smackdown on the wolf. Unbelievable stuff right there, the big bad wolf, alright? Anyways, but 15-0, yes, Inquisitor was the big bad wolf. Green Bay getting the win. 15-0 over the Destroyers. Moving along, the San Francisco Shinobis on the road against the New Mexico Monsters, and X-Wing would be the car out there first for New Mexico, and he'd be making an impact. 5-0 right there as he took down F3. Now out there against Black Bullet 1, definitely X-Wing the underdog here, but in the end able to put Black Bullet 1 on his side and on to Spectite Jr. 10-0 New Mexico, looking for the upset here, and a great move right here to keep the chance for the upset alive, and then follows that up right here with a good flip that you are about to see right there. It is X-Wing on point today. He was the #1 overall pick of the 2015 draft, and he gets the job done right there. 15-0 the New Mexico Monsters shock the San Francisco Shinobis. So the Puerto Rico play is trying to follow suit against the favored New York Empire. Black Star out there against Enzo 1 to start this game off, and Enzo 1 putting him right back down there, and now it was Black Lena. An amazing move to stay up and get the flip here as we take a look in slow motion, able to just tip himself back up. Tie game. 5-5 the score, and all of a sudden quickly it was 10-5. Puerto Rico in the lead. Black Lena now looking to put it away against the franchise Black Bullet 2. But as we know too well, there's a reason why we call him the franchise. Able to get the flip right there, and we were tied at 10. Now out there against Green Blaze Jr., and what a move here by Black Bullet 2. And yes, please show us that beautiful beam footage, able to roll himself back up and keep in the game. And this time coming up here, he would have a flip on Green Blaze Jr. So the franchise Black Bullet 2 now looking for the win against Solar Reflex, and Solar Reflex able to stay up not once but twice, do a barrel roll. So get another look at the Solar Reflex. Been struggling all year, but maybe he's starting to wake up. Or maybe it was just a dream. Nelly sing him that song. My goodness, it was the franchise. Ending that dream right there. 15-10 the final score. The New York Empire getting the win over the Puerto Rico Players. So moving on along here, Buffalo Warriors on the road against the Jacksonville Bangums, and Green Blaze would ruin the party for 76, who was making his pro debut of 2016 there, and then quickly goes through Zap as well. 10-0 Buffalo, make it 15-0 as Black Spectite was taken down, and an easy trip to Grandma's Bakery right there. 15-0 serving the donuts for dinner. 3-0 day for Green Blaze. Buffalo getting the easy win over Jacksonville. Now we move back to the Western Conference. San Jose Storm, Dallas Lone Stars, and off of the second collision that would happen between these two, Watsup and Charizard, both cars would be down. We had a 5-5 game, but then enter in Great Indy on point today out there against Phantom, and after just a couple of collisions, he would have a flip on Phantom. 10-5 score now out there against Wasp, and Wasp was no challenge for Great Indy today. 15-5 the final score, and the Dallas Lone Stars at home. I really gotta check the record books, but a strong performance at home today against the Houston Oilers, and I believe it was last game day, and here today against the San Jose Storm. A 2-0 day for Great Indy and a 15-5 win. On to a Northern Division matchup we go. Bradford Brawlers, Dayton Rebels, and Sub-Zero coming off of a good game day, and yes, we have another good one here. Battling with Gold Dust with the game scoreless, but it wasn't scoreless after that collision way off screen. Gold Dust was down 5-0. Dayton in the lead. That would bring out Uncle Sam, and Sub-Zero forced to make a great move right here defensively, staying alive, do a barrel roll, able to keep himself in the game, and not just that, but he would be able to get the flip on Uncle Sam there. 10-0 the score. Now out there against Spinebuster, too easy. And Dayton usually does play him at the 5-point gainer, but just how dangerous he is at 5-point gainer and the front runner spot. A 3-0 day for Sub-Zero, 15-0. Dayton Rebels getting a shutout win, serving donuts for dinner against the Bradford Brawlers. And now, folks, strap in the seatbelts. This was a long game right here, no doubt about it, but a good one. F1 Racer taken down by Grasshopper, and Grasshopper wasn't down there. Now out there against Spectite, has a good flip on him, 10-0 Nevada in the lead. Grasshopper now going for the win against Dragonfly. But what did I tell you? Strap in your seatbelts. These two would put on one heck of a show as we see Dragonfly here showing us how pretty defense can truly be. Do a barrel roll, able to breakdance his way back out of things and able to stay up right there. No interference, back to his own side. Both cars again staying up. The fight continuing here. Going flying and, you know, taking landing lessons along with the flying. Look at that defensive move. Another breakdance maneuver to stay in the game. And now out there against Yellow Spider and both cars down. So a 15-10 game with Nevada in the lead, and now Hornet looking to put the game away against Police Porsche. Ready for another epic battle, folks, because we would have one right here as both cars would stay up after the first couple of collisions as they continue to go head-to-head. First bunch of collisions, they were both still alive in it as we see another great defensive maneuver, this one by Hornet, the 2015 Rookie of the Year, showing you just why he was just that. Another great defensive maneuver as the battle continued between these two. The fight carrying on, staring each other down, and on the review here, yes, he was able to stay up, no interference. So switching sides here, they would continue to go at it yet again. And this time around, both cars again staying up. Again, able to, I believe I can fly. Get R. Kelly driving Hornet here today, but he gets taken down. And Police Porsche forcing the issue and forcing overtime. Out there against White Indy from the Nevada Thunder side. And we see now, as they start off OT, how long this one would go. A little battle between these two, and in the end, White Indy mere centimeter away from forcing an interference, but not able to do so. Didn't make contact, so a close call. But Police Porsche sealing the deal and the comeback. Aliens getting the win in overtime. 20-15 the final. A 2-0 day for Police Porsche from the 5-point gainer spot. And we end off our highlights with the game I was really looking forward to. Phoenix Firebirds and Portland Panthers. We see here Green Arrow able to get the good flip to get the lead. Taking down Purple Fire. Now Green Arrow out there against Monty. 5-0 Phoenix the score. But it wouldn't really stay that way that long. Monty, heavy car, battling out with Green Arrow, and though a valiant effort, Monty able to get the flip and now taking on Mika. Both cars from the middleman spot, and Mika would get sat down. Stock 34 now, looking to tie the game up for Phoenix. And of course, Monty just too heavy and powerful, and just, you know, maybe it's not just so much the weight too. I mean, because we see Monty Jr. on Milwaukee not having near as much success, but Monty has definitely found his groove here in 2016. Definitely makes the Portland Panthers a dangerous team. Dangerous today. 3-0 day for Monty. Panthers get the win over the Firebirds, 15-5. All right. Back from all the highlights there, the second segment of highlights done, and it is finally time for our main event now. Washington takes a loss now. A huge upset. Tampa Bay getting the win over Philadelphia earlier. I know I didn't really dabble too much in it, but huge win for Tampa Bay. 15-10. What a comeback. 4-0 day for 47 Ronan. How about him? Talk about Cold Light. Talk about 47 Ronan. With that being said, Tampa Bay's win puts them in a very good spot at 32 points right now. Well, guess what? Washington is currently at 32 points. Now, they do have more wins than the Gators, but that gap in points can be close to 0 if the Patriots take a loss today. And not like the Gowanda Outlaws don't have nothing to play for. They are in the midst of the playoff hunt as well as Mayor's Pack, trying to hang on to that 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. And of course, they'd like to try to catch up a little bit with the Philadelphia Demons and try to hit the 40-point mark. They can do that with a win here. So kind of a ways behind Philly at the moment, but with Philly taking a loss, they can close that gap maybe just a tad little tiny bit. So that being said, should be a fun game to watch. Let's get down to it. On the field for the Gowanda Outlaws and the Washington Patriots. It's our main event. Well, folks, you've gone through the second set of the highlights, and yeah, a lot more shutouts than there were in the first half of the highlights, no doubt about it. But on to the main event, we now go. The Gowanda Outlaws are on the field, as are the Washington Patriots, and both teams set to go head-to-head. Gowanda comes into this game currently seeded 4th in the Eastern Conference. Of course, they came to the game day seeded 4th. Of course, New York's win and Green Bay's win has temporarily put them ahead of Gowanda at the moment. Of course, Gowanda with the win can hang on to that spot. And the Washington Patriots, they sit 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference and face quite a similar threat, so to speak. Tampa Bay got a win today, so Tampa Bay tying with Washington at 32 points. Of course, the Patriots do have more wins. They do have more wins, and that would be the current tiebreaker if they did lose today. So Washington not threatened of losing the 3rd seed today, but they definitely want to try to keep some padding in between them and the Tampa Bay Gators. So that being said, Gowanda's record, 12 wins, 7 losses, no ties, 1 overtime loss. The Washington Patriots with a record of 10 wins, 8 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. So 2 relatively pretty close match teams when you take a look at their win-loss records so far. So we should be in for quite a great game. Gowanda's been playing strong though as of late. Washington been having struggles kind of as of late. So that being said, let's get a look at the lineups for both sides. Should be a great matchup. Gowanda Outlaws, Washington Patriots. It's our main event. Alright, the first 2 cars are out on the field. Lamborghini for the Gowanda Outlaws and Red Ferrari Jr. out there for the Washington Patriots. Of course, the original Red Ferrari played for the Outlaws back in the day. And just like that, though, or I can even get a sentence out, Lamborghini has a flip on Red Ferrari Jr. 5-0 Outlaws in the lead. That brings out Landlord now for the Patriots. And Landlord set down 10-0 Outlaws in the lead. Working and working quick, but now takes on the defense of the Patriots side, and that would be Ratitude. He needs to be strong today, and not going to be strong enough. A good flip there. Kind of a weird roll, a weird direction that they went. But it's going to end up being a 15-5 game. It was a tie collision there, and Lamborghini doing just enough. 15-5, Gowanda Outlaws getting the win over the Washington Patriots. So Gowanda able to hang on to that 4th seed. And not just that, Tampa Bay and Washington, both teams now with 32 points at the top of the Southeast Division, I should say, a struggling Southeast Division. As a matter of fact, the Southeast played against Northeast today, like we saw here, 7 games, and the Northeast won 5 of them. Considering the fact that the Southeast won the first 2 matchups, it's kind of interesting, but nonetheless, that's just how it worked out. So we take a look ahead, though, into the next game day. The Gowanda Outlaws, it's a cross-conference game day. But as we move on into that next game day, the April 11th game day, Gowanda Outlaws, they will be home, riding the momentum from this win against the New Mexico Monsters, who can't, my goodness, what a win they had against San Francisco today. 15-0 over San Francisco. Who saw that coming? I didn't even see that one coming, but anyways, Washington's next game, they will be home against the Minnesota Maniacs on that April 11th game day. No team will have a bye like Detroit and Nashville did here today. Next edition of CDL Live, the April 11th edition, going to be coming out on Monday, April 11th. New Orleans Gladiators on the road against the Buffalo Warriors. That's what leads us off. Our mid-feature on that April 11th edition. The Phoenix Firebirds on the road to take on the New York Empire. Should be a great game there. And then our main event. The Nevada Thunder on the road to take on the Dayton Rebels. So some really fun games in my opinion. I think we're going to be in for a lot of action and whatnot. CDL season's been no doubt fun this year, and it's been different. It's been kind of, to a point, a strange season. But needless to say, as we are now in that downhill curve, going downhill towards the playoffs, my goodness, it is definitely an entertaining one. But that being said, 15-5 Outlaws getting the win over the Washington Patriots. We're going to be showing you the standings, showing you where teams are, and are you not entertained, basically, is the best way to put it. That being said, folks, James Hulse here, owner and creator of the Car Demolition League, thanking you for watching, thanking all my owners for sticking with me through it and everything. 20th season, marching on. Tim Geyser, definitely, no doubt, my brother, and definitely sidekick. You know, Brandon, Alex, been with me a while too. But thanks to you guys and to the rest of the CDL fans. Till next time, folks, take care of yourselves, be yourselves, and peace.
I love LA. Big Sad, California, yes. Still applies to me. Everybody got something to say.
God bless Texas. What you say?